Welcome to the You Are It podcast. My name is Alejandra Orozco. I am a social science researcher and an energy healer. You Are It has been created to support you in expanding your perception of reality. You are loved and absolutely deserving simply because you are, not because of what you have accomplished. Join me and be ready to transform your beliefs and approaches as you enter the flow of becoming one with your highest good and your highest purpose. Dear friends, in this episode 8, let's explore the states of being that support our expansion and our abilities to contribute to the manifestation of kindness, compassion, wisdom, honesty, trust, and love within this plane of existence. And as you engage with the world and become aware of your light and your shadows, allow your dance to be full of gratitude for it all, the moments of joy and the moments of tears. They all are essential to our expansion. Dear friends, today we look at the states of being above 200 on Hawkins Map of Consciousness. These are increasingly expansive, life-giving levels of awareness through which everything and everyone in creation benefits from the all-encompassing and loving perception of reality of every person within these levels. We begin with courage, calibrated at 200. This energy says, I can do it. When we have courage, we have determination, we are enthusiastic, productive, independent, and self-empowered. At this level of consciousness, effective action is possible. Life is seen as doable, and God is seen as allowing. The dominant emotion is one of support, and the process we go through at this level is one of empowerment. Next is neutrality, calibrated at 250. This level sees a way of life that is comfortable, pragmatic. It is free of emotionality. It is okay either way, not judgmental, not competitive. Here, life is seen as satisfying and God as enabling. The dominant emotion is one of trust, and the process we go through at this level is one of release. Next is willingness, calibrated at 310. It is an energy that goes beyond survival to a positive attitude that welcomes all expressions of life. It is kind, helpful, wants to help, seeks to be of service. Life is seen as hopeful and God as inspiring. The dominant emotion is optimism, and the process we go through at this level is intention. Then comes acceptance at 350. Easygoing, relaxed, harmonious, flexible, inclusive, and free of inner resistance. Life and you and I are good. It feels connected. It meets life on life's terms. There is no need to blame life or blame others. Life is seen as harmonious and God as merciful. The dominant emotion is forgiveness, and the process we go through at this level is transcendence. Next, we have reason, calibrated at 400. In this level, we differentiate human beings from the animal world. In this level, there is a high functioning and seeking truth for its own sake. It sees in the abstract and is very useful in solving problems. Science, philosophy, medicine, logic are all expressions of this level. Life is seen as meaningful and God as wise. The dominant emotion is understanding, and the process here is one of abstraction. Then we have love at 500. With this energy, our way of being is forgiving, nurturing, and supportive. It does not come from the mind, it comes from the heart. Love focuses on the essence of a situation, not the details. It deals with wholes, not particulars. Because it replaces perception with vision, it takes no position and sees the intrinsic value and loveliness of all that exists. Life is seen as benign and God as loving. Here, the dominant emotion is awe and the process is revelation. Then comes joy at 540. It is a love that is unconditional and unchanging, despite circumstances and the actions of others. Here, the world is illuminated by exquisite beauty seen in all things. The perfection of creation is evident. There is compassion for all, a sense of oneness with others, and concern for their happiness. There is a sense of self-completion and self-sufficiency. Life is seen as complete and the view of God as one. The dominant emotion is serenity, and the process we go through at this level is one of transfiguration. Then we have peace at 600. This energy is experienced as perfection, bliss, effortlessness, and oneness. It is a state of non-duality, beyond separateness and beyond the mind, as in peace that passes all understanding. It is not an ordinary state of being, but that does not mean that it cannot be attained. Here, life is seen as perfect and God as all being. The dominant emotion is bliss, and the process at this level is one of enlightenment. At the top of these levels is enlightenment from 700 to 1000. At this level, the process we are in is being pure consciousness, and the dominant emotion is ineffability. Life is. It simply and profoundly just is. And God is self. Self with a capital S. Something important to remember is that many of us can experience these elevated states of being momentarily, like the deep joy we feel when we see our newborn child for the first time, or when we have peak athletic, artistic, or creative experiences, or during moments of love, or during near-death experiences, and when we witness what we call miracles, to name certain events that trigger high states of being. What is not usual is that we go into these states of non-duality and that we stay in a non-dual state. These high vibrational states where our ego is gone and our vision is so deep and all-encompassing that all we see is the inherent beauty of all that is, are states that so far have not been permanent for the vast majority of people on this planet. But of course, this can change. The more aware we become, the more life-giving energy we contribute to the collective, and the more transcendent our 3D reality becomes. But yes, we are here learning to surpass the illusions of what we call 3D reality as perceived by our primal mind or ego. Now, we can explore the levels of consciousness from other perspectives. For example, Bashar talks about 9 levels of consciousness, the most basic of which is the level of thoughts, then emotions, then beliefs, then the individual unconscious, then the collective unconscious, then the level of the higher mind, and so on. In Buddhism, The first 5 levels are the levels that involve our senses. Then the 6th level is the mind. The 7th level is the inner life. The 8th level is where karma resides. And the 9th level is pure consciousness. So understanding the levels of human consciousness can be approached in different ways. But one thing seems pretty clear, including Hawkins' map of consciousness. And that is how our thoughts represent the most basic level. Thoughts are created from the experiences that come from our 5 senses and stored as memories with varying degrees of emotionality attached to the memories, depending on the nature of the experiences that give life to the thoughts turned into memories. Since we have become quite good at dwelling between memories of the past and worries about the future, rather than just inhabiting the present moment, this really means that we live from thought to thought to thought, and depending on the thought, from life-draining emotion to life-draining emotion to life-draining emotion. Yes, what this 3D reality we are in shows is that we are certainly very good at operating at the most basic level, the level of thought, as informed by the experiences perceived through our 5 senses. Yes, it does not take much for our mind to start running with thoughts. Thinking is to our being what breathing is to our body, kind of automatic. Truly, this is very telling. Maybe that's why we are so good at having thoughts or at having an ego. And yes, the quality of thoughts is another thing. But I feel the point to be made is this: your mind, and for most of us, our intellect, operates with ease within this physical reality. However, this is only the most basic level of awareness. To be able to become more conscious and increase our frequency requires awareness of our emotional body. And this will lead us eventually to even higher levels of consciousness as we recognize the beliefs that inform our experiences, which means access to higher powers in discernment and as creators. Otherwise, it could be that our mind, our intellectual activity, can serve to perpetuate material conditions where the masses of people are subjected to extreme hardship and injustice, such as when we focus intellectually on perfecting weapons of mass destruction. When our awareness is limited to our mental activity, we may well be unconsciously contributing to feeding life-draining states of being, such as those generated by fear, conflict, feelings of superiority, etc. You know, it is funny and telling for someone with my background to learn this after having spent so much of my life feeding my mental activity and proudly showing off the fruits of that activity to the world in the form of a master's and a PhD degrees. Wow, really, all these years, my ego mind feeling like the boss and me feeling proud. Until now that I realized I was so proud to be a pro at operating at the most basic level of consciousness. Yeah, my ego is seriously wounded. I laugh, but it is real. What I'm saying is real. It was at least a couple of years ago that I first read Hawkins' quote, "All thought is resistance." But it is only now that I am beginning to grasp the scope of that statement. So, discovering and increasing the frequency from which we operate involves, first, the awareness of the existence of our monkey mind and the awareness that we do not have to follow every thought. Our primal mind does not have to become our master. Second, it involves becoming aware of the emotional states that are feeding and are fed by the stream of our thoughts. Just becoming aware of the feelings attached to thoughts is a powerful thing, but even more powerful and higher in terms of our level of consciousness is to go beyond our emotions and unravel the beliefs that make us feel one way or the other. Every time a phrase, situation, really anything hurts our feelings, it means that there is a limiting belief. So, as you increase the frequency from which you operate, you can become aware of the subconscious beliefs that color your entire existence. Yes, this also means that you no longer run after your thoughts with a sense of righteousness, feeling entitled to react and put others down as you jump from low vibrational emotion to low vibrational emotion. And as you reach deeper levels of awareness, it becomes clear that the state of joy, of peace, is not a state in which our primal mind is involved. It is a state in which we simply are, and we are beyond mind. I heard a beautiful description of living in the present moment as being in a state of non-duality. Why is that? Well, I think it is because at this moment, everything is perfect. The moment something displeases you, you are no longer in the present moment. Your mental activity has brought up a memory triggered by a perception from your senses, which has put you in a certain emotional state. And all of this is fed by a sneaky limiting belief. Yes, it only takes a second to be out of our perfect present moment, but also to come back to it. You may ask, Alejandra, are you suggesting that we be in some sort of worry-free state? Yes, I am. Remember, what you hold in your mind tends to manifest. What you expect tends to be what you experience. In the same way, if you are trusting and happy in the present moment, you are more likely to find happiness in the next moment and the moment after that. Let me go beyond the scope of this episode for a moment. I acknowledge that the statement I just made about simply being happy in the present moment involves having key powerful beliefs. For example, the belief that as a divine creation, you will always be careful and protected and loved no matter what is a good one. But this belief is very difficult to have if you are following the promptings of your ego, which is constantly telling you that life is full of problems. When you are guided by a belief that is not limited, a belief worthy of you who are an unlimited divine being, you can move into a state of trust that the financial situation you are going through, for example, will work out for your best and highest good. As you move to act as best as you see fit, without fear or worry, you will be met with what you need to turn scarcity into abundance, sadness into happiness, suffering into wisdom, etc., etc. Believe me when I tell you that we are truly less capable and less intelligent when we are sad. You want to solve your problems? Follow Einstein's advice to operate from a higher frequency than the frequency that got you into trouble in the first place. Again, you may ask, Alejandra, how can you function in the present moment in bliss and still be able to pay all your bills and have all your needs met? Well, we tend to separate these two aspects of our reality, but they are not exclusive. Perhaps this is why we are asked to be like children. Could we approach each new experience without the emotional baggage and memories of past experiences? Like a kid that falls down and stands up the next moment, like nothing happened. And I say, maybe you don't forget the pain of your fall, but you don't dwell on it either. You just get up and go on without fear and without expecting anything negative, because you once upon a time had a painful fall and hurt yourself. I guess what I am saying is that we consciously don't let anything from our past define how we feel in our present moment, and that you be fully open in the right now with all the curiosity and enthusiasm that characterizes the attitude of a child. And when something brings you to your knees, surrender. Let the physical pain be experienced without resentment and without trying to analyze the experience and the why. This life is an experience far beyond the workings and capabilities of our primal mind, of our intellect. Otherwise, it will be like expecting a flame to burn itself or a rose to describe its own beauty. Let it be that all you carry within you as you engage with the world in your present moment is the knowledge that no matter what, all of it, which you know is divinely designed to support your expansion, will always work for your best and highest good, regardless of the promptings of your mind. These days, I can easily recall how my mind has taken me on these numerous merry rides of resisting my present moment through attitudes of judgment, anger, resentment, and the like. Every time I have entered into experience that has not gone according to my plan. And just like that, my present moment became a moment of distress, a traumatic experience, a moment of suffering that I rejected with my whole being. And yet, later, I will become aware of the mystery behind the experience, the lesson it offered me in detachment, the awareness it brought to my lack of self-love, the invitation it offered me to be compassionate, the information it provided about the deep wounds in my self-esteem. And again, you may ask, what can we do with all this awareness, Alejandra? Is this an invitation to be superficially engaged in our daily experiences? To be somehow absent-minded, so as not to be suffering the unexpected? And I say no, not at all. The invitation I'm giving you is to give it your best and your divine all as you engage with the world. Like when you fall in love, fall completely in love. Give it your all. Dance that salsa like it is your last song. And when the song is over, with that same total presence, you let it go. That you surrender equally to the mystery of it being and then of it ceasing to be. Every moment is your moment, regardless of circumstance, because now you know that what really matters is not your surroundings, or your partner, or your economy, or your situation, or the experience in front of you. But what really matters is your state of being. Come back to being the joy, the light, the love that you are, regardless of anything else. We can be the best we can be, regardless of what is offered in return. Engage with the world and give it your all. And when it brings tears to your face, let them flow and surrender to the mystery before your eyes. Can you let go as easily as you embrace it when it first comes to you? Can you, as Ram Dass once said, hold tight and let go lightly? Dare to draw on your ability to recognize and trust the divine design of all that you are experiencing and that you are. There is this beautiful ancient and mystical Persian poem quoted in a religious text that says, "The lover is he who is cold in hellfire. A knower is he who is dry in the sea. Be the lover of the divine in all. Be the knower of the divine in all." I love you all dearly, but you already know that. But it feels sweet and it fills my heart to remind you. I am Alejandra, and you have been listening to You Are It. Talk to you very soon. Our experience of reality is fundamentally influenced by our subconscious beliefs. Whenever you have thoughts and feelings that put you in a low vibrational state, where you feel helpless, afraid, worried, you can be sure that there is a limiting belief that denies one or more aspects of your infinite loving nature. Remember that the conditions you experience are a reflection of your consciousness, not the other way around. Now is the time to return to the awareness that you are and always have been one with the divine and the most magnificent, unique manifestation of pure love and light. Rumi once said, "You search the world for treasures, but the real treasure is yourself." This is the essence of our message on the You Are It podcast. You are the treasure waiting to be discovered or enjoyed. You are the flame that never consumes itself and the light that shines everywhere. Now you are home. Please know that you are most welcome. Stay tuned as we look forward to sharing something of value on every episode.